Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having a great day or night or afternoon, whatever time of day it is when you're watching this. I wanted to share something with you guys, which was that I got baptized during New Year's basically. And I wanted to share my experience, why I did it and what made me make the decision. Okay, so first let's start off with like the reason why I did this or what made me take this decision. And I'm not gonna go into details with this because it is a little personal and it's not something I want to share to the public. But I am going to, go over like the surface area of it, which is that I was going through a time in my life, as any other teenager usually does, where I was feeling lost and alone, and honestly I didn't even like myself or my personality entirely, so I began to like criticize myself. So like not criticism that builds you up, it was more of criticism that builds you down or brings you down, like judging these. I was basically judging myself. That was exactly what I was doing. So my mom, who studied psychology when she was in college, I basically talked to her, right? And we have a pretty good relationship, so I tell her pretty much everything. She's like my best friend. So when I was ready, of course, I told her how I was feeling, and she told me, she was like, I encourage you to like give this to God. I guess that's where it all began. I mean, me personally, I grew up in a church. Like my entire life I've gone to church and everything, but I've never had like an actual like experience with God. I just went to church because my mom went to church. When she told me this, I was like, what do I have to lose, right? Like, honestly, I'm at a point in life where anything, any idea, anything could possibly work. I got more into it and I like started learning more about God. I started reading the Bible a little bit, and at church we do like this little Bible study thing, and so I started going to the Bible study, and clearly it worked because I ended up having an actual connection and interaction with God. So I think that was probably like the second step to my decision. But essentially, as I was getting closer to God, I was starting to realize how many things I was doing wrong in my life. And I realized that I didn't like that I didn't like how I used to be, because how I used to be kind of sassy. I mean, if you look back through my videos, I am a little bit sassy. And I used to be rude, and I'd do a bunch of things, not like necessarily bad things, but they weren't very nice. So I kind of looked back, had like a reflection moment of, do I really want to be like this person? And I decided that no, I don't. So I decided to reflect on myself completely, entirely, in all areas of my life, and decide like, this is what you have done. Are you happy with this? And I was like, no, I'm not happy with this. So I knew I needed to change in my life. And like I said, the closer I got to God, the more, I guess, was revealed to me, to the point where I was like, I am ready to give my life to Him. I'm ready to surrender everything in my life and just give it all to Him. So that's what I did. I enlisted myself for getting baptized, and they went over what the baptism means and what exactly you're doing, and I'm like, yes, I agree with this, I want to do this. And so I did it. I agreed, I went through it, and I got baptized. And I will say it was the most beautiful thing ever. I had such amazing friends that were there for me, and they told me they're so proud of me and that God has great plans for me and everything. And honestly, it did get a bit emotional. I'll just share my experience like actually getting baptized. I was nervous. Honestly, I was shaking a little, mainly because I was about to go in front of a bunch of people, gonna do this thing, So I was a little bit nervous. I was a little bit freaking out a little as they were putting me down like this, as they were baptizing me and like putting me into the water. All that was going in my mind was what I was doing, which was like the conversation that we had about what baptism is, which is essentially, you know, when you're in the water without being baptized yet, you're just like sitting there. It's essentially your old body or your old life. And then as you're going in, you're being cleansed and you're being, freed. And when you come back up, it's a new body. It's a new you. So essentially kind of like rebirth. Matter of fact, that's exactly what it is, rebirth. So that's all that was going in my mind. When I was outside of the water, I was like, this is it. These are my last few seconds of being my old self. And then as I was in the water, I was like, I'm being cleansed right now and I'm being freed and I'm turning into a new person. And then when I came out of the water, I felt so much better already. I felt so free and I felt relieved because I knew that there was a new body in me and like I was a new person. So, I was like happy. I was really happy about this because I was like, I'm a new person now, After that, I had to go change, so I changed, and then we came back and our leaders from our church were praying over us along with the pastor and his wife. They were all praying for me, and it was me and 2 other teenagers that were getting baptized as well. So they were praying for all 3 of us. They started praying over us and they started ministrating us and everything, and that's really like I was letting it all out. I was sobbing and crying and letting it all out. Also kind of felt like things were being freed as well, because it was just like a moment with me and God. And honestly, I like completely forgot that there was a bunch of other people in the same room as me. I like forgot. It was like awesome, you guys. Like it's hard to explain, but it was a really good feeling, and I felt myself being freed of things, and I just could feel myself changing, as a person. And before that, we had to do confessions. Like before we got baptized, we had to do confessions. So I confessed some of the things I had done, anything that I remembered or that I was conscious of, I basically had to confess about. Then I asked forgiveness for all of those things and for any other bad things that I have done that I don't remember of or that I don't have conscience of. And yeah, it was honestly, I think that's where the process of being freed began. Because the Bible says it, confess and you'll be freed. I'm honestly slowly starting to like myself again. It's like a work in progress. I am trying to change that whole sassy thing because I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be a person, that is sassy and rude. So I'm still, working on that. It's not like a thing that changes from night to day. It's like something that takes time. But I am, working on it, making sure I give off a good vibe, I guess, to people. Let them know that I'm not mean, rude, and sassy. I want them to think that I'm a nice, kind-hearted person. I definitely recommend it if you're going through something deep and dark that you can't seem to find a way out of. I would definitely recommend this. I went through something deep and dark as well, and I made it out, and I'm happier than ever. And yeah, so I just want to share that with you guys.